Why? Why? That's my big question here.
It can't. I doubt it can get much worse, he said.
Well, welcome back to Dubster Dive, the series where we talk about an anime, it's English dub. Well, not even anime, we've done it with visual novel Kickstarters that fail, and even some live action stuff. But this time, we're back with a series we, don't get what the hype's about. I still don't get it, man. Do you?
Plagiarism.
Okay, so yeah, if you haven't seen the last Sins video, we did do one on the first 3 seasons and the movie, briefly going over why we don't like it.
And it gets worse.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be spoiling the shit out of Dragon's Judgment, or Season 4, and the Cursed by Light series finale, air quotes, movie, which we think it was terrible. Anyway, we're just gonna get straight into this. Firstly, from last time, we finally found out who voiced the angel Ludociel.
Yeah.
Remember? We didn't know who voiced him last time. Anyway, his name is Jordan Reynolds. Who the fuck spells Reynolds that way? What?
Everybody.
But it's R-Y-N. Anyway, he was Julius in Fate Extra Last Encore. And he was Alan in Hero Mask, Netflix stuff. Okay, we keep coming back to Hero Mask. Maybe that's telling us we should check that out at some point. I heard it was alright. Can't be worse than this. Now, if you're wondering who the other 2 angels are, I don't know. They don't fucking matter.
I mean, we know who one of them is.
Well, we mentioned
but
it.
They still don't matter.
Yeah, we mentioned that last time. The 4th angel is the one we didn't know then at this point. And speaking of which, the angel that died that was teased last time, we find out who that is, and we'll get to that in a second, because it's really fucking stupid. But first, other people that we need to bring up that from last season. The 2 mentors of Meliodas and Zeldris. First is Cusack. What kind of name is that?
Yeah, the show was a Cusack.
Voiced by Armin Taylor, or Karen from Scarlet Nexus. I know it's Kari, and I'm being a dick. And narrator Kun from The Misfit of Demon King Academy. 2 things I'd much rather be paying more attention to. I haven't even seen shit on Scarlet Nexus, but I'm gonna hazard a guess it's better than this.
Can I go play that again instead of watching this?
I mean, at the time of this, it is on sale right now for I think like 35 US bucks on PSN.
Yeah,
so
and do yourself a favor, get the game, don't watch the shitty anime.
Anyway, and yeah, I guess I should say with Ludociel real quick, at Cusack, they did alright. Again, I have no complaints about the dub for the most part. There are moments where this season's dub feels rushed in places. You could tell some of the characters' voices crack here or there hilariously, but they were dubbing 24 episodes and a film in the course of a few months, so...
Also, we changed ADR directors after last season.
Yep. Now we have Steve Staley, the guy who ADR directed Demon Slayer anime. Speaking of shows I'd rather be watching.
And didn't he also do The Promised Neverland?
I think? I mean, okay, now I'm weighing my options. Promised Neverland Season 2 or this, man. I don't know.
Well, one is longer. That's your option.
Alright. Anyway, the other mentor is Chandler, voiced by John DeMita, who's Gilbert in Be the Beginning, another show I've heard really good things about, and Beerus from Dragon Ball Super's LA dub. If you forgot that existed, you're welcome. I still think it would have been amazing if that dub carried on, by the way. That would have been hilarious to see where they would have gone, and who Jiren would have been. What?
That sounds... No, that just sounds boring.
I want to know who Hit would have been too, man. Would it still been Matt Mercer? Or because Toei's got that money, would they have gotten Troy Baker in? Because that would have been hilarious. Alright. Anyway. I guess we should get to this. So where we last left off, Esterosa kidnapped Elizabeth. Bon is in purgatory, and oh my god, they milked the shit out of that, of him being in purgatory, making him as powerful as a god. No, we are not joking. It is stupid as hell. Looking for Meliodas' emotions, who, by the way, the show claims his emotions are weak and can't fight back.
That's a lie.
Meanwhile, the remaining sins, for the most part, are taking on, well, a lot of them are taking on Zeldris and the two mentors, because Meliodas is in a cocoon trying to inherit the powers of the Demon King, because he's going to come out like a beautiful butterfly.
Also, I think someone has their head up their own ass, because that's not purgatory. The way they literally describe it is fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Oh, I didn't even mention this. If anyone's wondering, yes, Studio Dean is still at the helm for this animation, which aired from January to June, but yeah, we waited till now because we wanted all 24 episodes done in dub. This piece of shit doesn't deserve more vids. Yep. Okay, so yeah, let's continue on with Season 4 and bring up a bunch of stupidity before we get to the movie. Which, that has its own source of problems.
Yeah, it's like it's written like special natural.
Okay. So in Purgatory, we get introduced to our first new character as Bond finds Meliodas' emotions and they hook up. It's a hog named Wild. Get it? Funny?
Yeah.
Anyway, he's voiced by the scriptwriter, Mike McFarlane, who voices a lot of ad voices throughout this. You all probably know him as Baby from GT. What? What?
It took... You should just be more surprised it took them 4 seasons in to use him as at least an ad voice.
Yeah... let's see, you find out he's the older brother of Hawk, which sure, Hawk had a heel turn last season for an episode or two for some fucking reason. I don't know. And Meliodas and Bond have to look for a way out, and Wild is like, oh, I'll show you the way. Rah, 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 rah. But I mean, hey, he's Havoc and FMA. This show's on FMA's level, right, Di?
It's on a level.
Meanwhile, back in human world, we find out Zeldris is, a bit, we found out more about his backstory. Apparently, he was in love with a vampire. Yeah, vampires are a thing now. Just go with it.
Do we do anything with that? No. They just exist.
Well, her name is Gelda, but they also call her Gilda. Yeah, it's one of those dubisms where no one knows how to say her name. And she's voiced by Amberly Connors, who you'd all probably know as Android 18 from TFS's DBZA. Or Cathali from World End. What, I had to throw in one random show in there.
Can we go watch that instead?
Well, it turns out the Demon King was like, we're going to execute the vampires. And Zeldris says execute them instead of execute. He left out the I in that sentence, but sure, I don't care.
Zeldris.
And yeah. Apparently Meliodas feels bad about this because something about robbing Zeldris of his waifu. Even though you find out he simply sealed his waifu away so she wouldn't die. I don't understand what's there to feel bad about. He saved her life, more or less. The other vampires were knocked out, sure, because you find out they were all killed. But Meliodas saved her, so why is Zeldris pissy with him again?
Okay. You see, here's your problem, man. You're trying to make sense.
Anyway, so yeah, that's why the emotion...
Coherent.
Yeah, anyway, they also tried throwing in a flashback of when the commandments first arrived. Zell just like, I have to go take care of something. And he fucks off and finds out the vampires did awaken 12 years before they arrived, once, but they were all exterminated by the Sins. Except his waifu, Gelda, who was sealed away by Meliodas, like we just said. Why didn't Meliodas just tell him she's still alive?
Because we needed a retcon.
Which, by the way, you find out before anyone says anything, yes, Meliodas, before he goes into the cocoon, Demon Meliodas, God, this is so stupid. Why are there so many Meliodases?
Next thing you're gonna say is that the Demon King has 3 voices.
We'll get to that.
Oh.
Well, anyway, he told, Zeldris, like, she's still alive. And that's why Zeldris, like, oh, okay. Well, then I'll protect you, become the Demon King, and the first thing you'll do is wake her up, right? Sure, buddy. Yes. Anyway. So, Merlin is taking on the, mentors, and who else is fucking there with her? I don't even remember. I know Hendrickson is there. Gil Thunder's there.
Those were just background characters.
No, because they got injured during the fight, remember?
Well, no, Gil Thunder's just there because the angel possessed his waifu.
Yeah, so Ludociel's there still possessing Margaret. Which, I don't know if it was just me, some of her line delivery this season when she was possessed sounded more flat rather than trying to sound intimidating. That's up for interpretation, though, I guess.
Or maybe you were just done with the show.
Well, that could be too. I don't know, you all take your pick if you want to suffer through the show. Anyway, so they're getting their asses kicked by Cusack, Zeldris, and Chandler. But then you find out Merlin planned on that happening so she could place a pseudo-magic curse on them to seal their magic, so whenever they use it, they get injured. And she's like, yes, I did this a while ago, back when Zeldris first tried attacking us with the Vacuum of Doom. Well, that's basically what it is, vacuum, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, I knew this would happen the whole time. If you think that Merlin planning shit like this is gonna get old anytime soon, you have no fucking idea.
It's gonna get painful. Buckle up.
Also, you might be wondering something I was wondering this whole time. In Season 3, it was established Merlin's form is a disguise, with her lolly form, I guess, being her true form where she's at her most powerful, but she hates that form due to reasons. Reasons we will find out are really fucking stupid. But my question is, everything's on the line here. Even if you don't like using that form, why aren't you using that form to go all out?
Because fuck you.
In fact, one of the mentors, I forget which one it is, it might have been Cusack or Chandler, I don't know, tries possessing Merlin, and like, oh, so this is your true form in your mind, huh? Because he sees her lolly form in her mind.
It was Cusack.
Well, whichever the fuck one it is, I don't care. And she's like, I was planning on you trying to possess me the whole time. Oh my god, just stop. Whatever. So he gets thrown out and he gets mind fucked. Meanwhile, we're about to get really dumb with probably the one character I really did, one of the characters I really like because of how much they hammed it up, Estarossa. Yes, Di, we're here.
Oh.
And you know, this show sucks all the dicks, but David Vincent did an amazing job as Estarossa, or as you'll find out, Mael, the fourth angel, the angel of death.
Oh.
So apparently, Mael was an angel who was brainwashed into thinking he was the adoptive son of the Demon King, Estarossa, the whole time. Because the angel side got too powerful, and they needed someone on the demon side to balance it out so the war would be balanced. That's literally how they said it.
Yeah.
And they did this because when Meliodas defected from the demon realm 3,000 years ago, because I have to say that 500 times, there was a gap left in the demon world's power. And the angels would win too easily, so they couldn't have that. So yeah, Esterosa is Mael, an angel, and his memories come back to him. He's like, oh no! He also kills Derriere, the fourth commandment wielder that he wanted, because she was still alive, I guess. I thought she died last season. I don't know.
No, she didn't.
Oh, it was only Monspeed.
Yeah.
Well, she's dead now. So he's getting even more powerful.
Did you ask the other reason why he was chosen to become a demon?
Because it says his power was on par with that of Meliodas.
No, the
that was
real
one
reason.
Go on.
Because he killed the real Gother's girlfriend.
I actually forgot about that plot point. I'm glad you reminded me of that. Yeah, so the real Gother brainwashed him and
or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, so the real Gother, it's also explained real quick that he rewrote everyone's memories of Mael to make it seem like he died, and imprinted the memory of Esterosa, being Meliodas' adoptive brother, into everyone. But he said the magic would wear off the second cracks start appearing in people's memories.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't even care anymore. So anyway, Mael now, or Esteros, whatever the fuck you want to call him, is all powerful because he has awakened to his angelic powers, so he has his grace back. He has, by the way, grace for the angels' powers. Yeah, real clever. That's literally the term they use for in Supernatural for the angels' abilities.
Is that the last of the Supernatural writing? What's next, Nazis?
No, that's in Hellsing, and that would be fun. That would be stupid and over-the-top silly.
Anti-fun, I got you.
Yeah, so he kills Derriere because she tried attacking him, and he kills the other two angels. Not Ludociel. Ludociel's still with Zeldris.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why we said, like, the other angels don't fucking matter. The only two that do are Ludociel and now Mael. Oh yeah, and Elizabeth, yep. Deanne, and King are all here. And Di, you remember how they end up beating him, right?
Plot convenience power up out of nowhere.
So King awakens to a new form and new power to become the true Fairy King. Out of nowhere, and Mael jobs to him. Like, immediately. Remember, power of 4 commandments, it's running out of control, he can't control it in his body, which, yeah, the commandments formed an ego within him. One of them's even voiced by Crispin Freeman, because, you know, I guess they wanted to give the show a little more credibility. But anyways,
They had any of that?
Yeah, and he has the Archangel powers on top of it now since he's regained his memory. But no, Super King just shows up. Bitch, please. That's it.
Job.
Which I will give Max Middleman credit. He gave King them his, you know, an alpha man voice during this form. So you get all 3 of his voices for King. But, yeah, so Esterosa jobs, they, or Mael, whatever the fuck, I'm gonna keep going back and forth this whole time. I know I am too.
Just call him one or the other, just pick one to call him for the rest of the video.
Well, they save his life, because they don't want him to die. And he has a face turn now.
Also, they never acknowledged that he killed his 2 brothers.
Actually, yeah. They really don't.
They don't. They just pretend they never existed.
And they still call them the 4 Archangels for the rest of the series. It's like, but there's only 2 now.
Yes, only 2.
But time for more stupidity. So, Meliodas' emotions and Bon are still going through purgatory when they run into the Demon King guarding the exit. And this Demon King is the normal Demon King voice. Trust me, if it sounds stupid, it's going to get real. It is. You'll see. Alright, so the normal Demon King is voiced by Jason Marnocha, who's Captain Jaguar in Eden Zero, and Steven in Hero Mask's Netflix dub.
Enough Zero Mask already.
I don't know, man. Also, Eden Zero, it's a good show. You should all go watch it. No, seriously, it's fun. But all right, so they're fighting it, and they're trying to get past them. And remember, Meliodas can't fight back, allegedly. He established that. He's like, Bon had to fight off all the monsters in Purgatory himself. Because Meliodas is like, well, I'm only a soul of emotions. I don't have any real strength. That's why he's able to do the full counter and fight back against the Demon King. Even though he tried doing the full counter earlier against the Purgatory monster and it wouldn't work. We even saw this. Show, stop fucking backpedaling on shit. Fact check before you do anything.
It's just a supernatural way of writing. Did you know the author's a fan of Supernatural?
Yeah.
Because that's gonna get cemented home by the time we're done here. What do you think you're doing?
Dean, what do you think you're doing? We don't have time for your blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. I love that meme. Yeah, we used to watch Supernatural. Guilty as charged, I guess. That shit went downhill fast. Like after season 5. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. All right. So.
Would you rather talk about something that you used to enjoy?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I used to enjoy this back with season 1. Season 2 had problems, but it was still stupid fun. But all right. So back in the human world now, because Bon manages to escape. Meliodas manages to escape as well. I know we're rushing through events, but let's just get to this. And his emotions end up going into the demon cocoon, while Bon ends up arriving back in the real world and headed straight for Elaine. And Bon learned a powerful lesson in Purgatory, not to be greedy and to learn to give and share. This is going to be arbitrarily stupid in a second, isn't it?
Yes.
So, Elaine is fighting... Actually, what the fuck were they even fighting? I was going to ask about that.
Just some demons.
Well, anyway, Elaine ends up dying, kind of, before Bon shows up and is like, I'm not going to let you die. And gives her all of the immortality energy he had from drinking the Fountain of Youth. So, it was just that easy to give up his immortality to revive Elaine the whole time. All he had to do was learn, maybe if I give someone my energy, I won't be immortal anymore. And I could have done this the whole time to resurrect Elaine for the last couple of seasons, but I didn't because I didn't think of doing that till now. Oh, and also, Bond, because he's giving people his immortality powers, he was able to heal people too. We saw that in Purgatory. He healed Meliodas by giving him some of his energy. So, pseudo-white mage, kind of,
no,
I guess.
Dropped.
Yeah, because he lost immortality reviving Elaine, but whatever. So Elaine's alive again, and isn't that fucking convenient? Because we cut to Zeldris' fight, and the commandments that were inside Estarossa end up being drawn to Meliodas inside the cocoon of their own free will and volition. The test tube holding the other commandment, the one voiced by Melanie, I can't remember her fucking name. The one that revived people, the Necromancer. she ends up getting absorbed into the cocoon too, just as Bond resurrected Elaine. Funny how that all worked out, isn't it?
All according to Zeldris' plan.
Yeah, Zeldris predicted the commandment's power would be coming to Meliodas this entire time. Meaning he predicted everything with Mael? Even though that's not the case? Because he even said, he's like, funny, learning these memories doesn't change a thing, because I never considered Esterosa my brother. Anyways,
back to nonsense.
So, they now have a time limit to stop the cocoon from hatching. Merlin's like, guard me while we do this, alright? Hold them off while I use a spell to suspend the cocoon in time. Which is when Chandler and Cusack are back up. Like, you thought you killed us? We're still alive, bitch! And now we're going to reveal to you that we used to be one being! In fact, the Demon King created us as the first original demon. That technically doesn't make sense, though. That means the Demon King's the original demon. But anyway, but they were so powerful, he had to split them in two because they could have rebelled. Whatever. So they become one demon, the OG demon. And now they're voiced by Brooke Chalmers instead. Who's Gustav from Ascendance of a Bookworm? Show I'd rather be watching. And Dahlia from Carol and Tuesday. Anyway.
That's the show we'd probably rather be watching.
So, yeah, he does fine as OG demon, I guess, for like the 3 episodes he's here.
He was there for 3 episodes. I don't know, all kind of blended together.
Yeah, so King shows up in his super form and is able to take him on. Margaret is forced... Ludociel's forced out of Margaret. What's up?
He's taking him on while he's like 500 feet, or like 500 miles away, by the way.
Oh my god. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so, Hendrickson and Gilthunder are able to get Ludociel out of Margaret, and he's there in his normal angel form. And he claims he needs a vessel to possess. How dare they? Gilthunder takes Margaret away, while Hendrickson's like, I'll let you use my body as a vessel.
I'm not interested in your body.
Ludociel literally says that, and then proceeds to show up to fight the OG demon to stop Meliodas' cocoon. Then why did you need a vessel in the first place if you could have just done this from the start? Anyway, Mael also shows up to help. It's a big, complicated fight or whatever. For some reason, David Vincent calls Meliodas Melioris during one of these scenes. Did we mention this dub was probably rushed in certain places? And yeah, they seal the cocoon in the nick of time, but it's too late because apparently it already hatched. As comes out Demon King Meliodas, voiced by someone else. So Meliodas is possessed by the Demon King, and you'd think maybe they'd have Jason voice him, but no, they got a completely different voice actor.
It's not gonna be the last time.
Possessed Meliodas is voiced by Mick Lauer, who's Detective Tarada from Inspector. Anyone else waifu Kotoko in that show? Don't look at me like that! Anyway.
No. Who the hell waifu jailbait?
Hey. That's not very nice. That's what some people say about Rukia. Hell, Twitter says that about Bayonetta. Anyway, he's also Dustin from Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. Why is that title so damn long? I don't even remember who Dustin is in that series.
What do you want?
Oh. Well, Dai's getting bothered in the background.
Yeah.
So... Anyway, stupid Demon King ends up getting, they end up all taking him on, as Huck says the joke he needs a ambulance after this. That joke makes no sense in the context of this stupidity. Remember the time period they're in. How does that joke land? Doesn't. I get what they're going for, man, but come on. Makes me wonder if that's a dub-only line or not.
Low-quality jokes that don't land. That's just the theme.
Anyway, as we were getting to, though, you want to hear how they defeat the Demon King? By ripping off Fairy Tail.
Oh. What? Did you expect something else?
Okay, so spoilers for the final season of Fairy Tail here. Should give that warning. Alright. So to defeat him, the Sins, minus Bond, because Bond shows up, immortal now, and is taking on the Demon King in a young, new-youthed body that's incredibly powerful by himself in a fistfight.
Effortlessly.
Effortlessly. So, the rest of the Sins have to go inside, I guess, on a pseudo-astral plane in Meliodas' mind to free him from the captivity of the control of the Demon King. So, the humans are fighting him in his human body in the outside world, while the Sins, the remaining Sins, are taking on his demon form or whatever in the inside world. Or do I have that mixed up? I don't think I do.
No.
Anyway, for those who are wondering what we mean, the fight with Agnologia and Fairy Tail. The 7 Dragon Slayers have to take him on in the astral plane, while the rest of the humans take him on in the real world. It's literally the same shit. Hell, it's even the same number of people. 7 Sins, 7 Dragon Slayers.
Oh, wait, I forgot to mention, these two megas had a crossover, so it's even more dumb.
I'm just borrowing a moment, and then there's that.
Anyway, a moment from something you literally just had a crossover with.
Why is your mic coming in staticky? Normally my mic messes up. So yeah, while he's doing fixing that over there.
What?
There we go. Now it's fine. But yeah, so he
yes, I don't know.
Yeah. So they defeat the Demon King. He's dead. We have 2 episodes of wrap up, and that's the end of the series.
I don't think you looked at the number correctly.
That's only episode 12. We have another 12 episodes left. Oh my god, we're only halfway done with this season. Alright, we're gonna speed things up a bit. Okay, first, in the next episode, there's a hilarious moment you brought up where a guy's mask has mouth flaps.
Yeah, the guy that was only relevant in the first season.
I don't remember who that is, to be honest, but either way, that's definitely a Dean fuck-up.
He was one of the knights.
Yeah, so, because the Demon King's defeated, Merlin is able to make the manifestations of Meliodas' and Elizabeth's curses appear in physical form. And Meliodas just kills them. The manifestations, the physical forms. Because they said he awakened to his intrinsic powers. What does that mean? I don't know. The show just does whatever the fuck it feels like.
It's only used... It's only used twice.
Anyway... So, they have a couple of episodes of wrap-up. Meliodas is like, I gotta go back to the demon world. He has a good drinking moment with Bond where they bond over being besties and stuff. He's like, so you gotta leave soon, huh? Yeah, the human world can't handle the demon world king's power here. Which is something we just now found out about, but whatever. And yeah, it ends right there, except it doesn't, because you see Zeldris fucked off after the fight with the Demon King, and it's because he's now been possessed by the Demon King as the new vessel.
Hey, the Demon King has another voice.
Possessed Zeldris is voiced by J. Michael Tatum, who you all probably know best as Sebastian from Black Butler. Then... I guess Mira from Dragon Ball Xenoverse. But Yeah. Why does the Demon King have 3 different voices? And why, when he possesses someone, does their voice change into a completely different person? He's still using their body and their vocal cords to talk.
Well, you see, they're taller now, so it means their vocal cords are taller.
Anyway,
Yes,
we
I
didn't
did
even mention,
explain it that way.
the OG demon got killed off during the fight by an ultimate attack last time. That's why the ones who managed to get the Demon King into Zeldris' body are Chandler and Cusack, who claim they're still alive because at the last possible second, they separated just in the nick of time before the attack could fully hit. Why does this writer have such a problem with killing people off, even his villains?
You know, this is very apt for Ari to make quote. Nothing dies down here.
Well, except this time Cusack and Chandler are legit killed by possessed Zeldris. Yeah, it's like, well,
no,
you served your purpose.
Well, you see, one of them betrays the other. Pretty sure it's Cusack.
Well, doesn't matter.
And then they get murked.
Anyway.
So, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even bring it up. So Possessed Zeldris shows up, him and the Sins have a fight, and I know I'm skipping the thing about the... What the fuck? The Leviathan Beast monster, but again, it just amounts to irrelevance. Yeah. So, you want to know how they beat Possessed Zeldris? How they beat Possessed Meliodas. Except this time, the Gelda vampire is here, because Meliodas woke her up. Yeah, that's it. That is the only difference here. You just swapped out with them saving one Bryce Papenbrook role for another.
And it would be over, you think, if the Demon King didn't possess a mountain.
You know what? I am so happy he did. He possesses the country of Britannia itself. So now you could say that the 7 Deadly Sins, they've wrestled countries.
Yeah, specifically just, even, they call it the continent, but it's literally just that mountain range they're fighting in.
Yeah, so Merlin during this fight uses her power limit break on everyone, making them even more stronger than before. And you might be wondering, she could have done this the whole time, right? Yep. Why didn't she? Don't know. No, seriously, I don't fucking know. The show just does whatever the fuck it feels like. Anyway, they beat the mountain by, what is it, all of them channeling their energy at Meliodas so he can redirect it as a full counter.
And then he plays ping pong with himself.
Yeah, the 2 brothers play ping pong doing the,
just Meliodas playing it with himself.
Oh, it would have made more sense if him and Zeldris kept doing full counter off each other to make it more stronger.
No. Zeldris was possessed.
But not during the mountain fight.
Or Zeldris was in the background watching like a cock there. Is that better?
Anyway, point is...
And he doesn't even have full counter.
Wait, oh, you're right. Anyway. So, yeah. He uses full super counter after everyone channels their energy into a final attack, destroying the mountain. And then they're like, this won't stop the Demon King, though. His energy is still here, so he could still resurrect again. That's when Meliodas becomes super demon form out of nowhere and blasts away the Commandment's energy.
And the form is never seen again.
Nope. Because he gave up the Demon King's form so he could live in the human world. Now, one thing we did neglect to mention, and we're bringing it up now, Escanor, because he stole his grace from Mael.
Or it was given and ended up inside of him because of that stupidity.
So he gives it back to Mael, but then he asks Mael if he could have it back for this one last battle. And he's like, you sure? This will kill you, though, this final fight, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, well, it's fine. I just want to fight with the Sins one last time. So he gives it to him. Escanor is badass as usual, because he's the one likable character here that's still consistent. And we even get flashbacks with him of when he first met the Sins, including how Meliodas had to go demon form to stop him during their fight, which doesn't make sense.
That wasn't unlocked until halfway through Season 1.
Meliodas' demon powers were sealed away until partway into Season 1. So, how is he able to do this here?
Because fuck you, retcons.
Anyway, Escanor ends up dying, and the one time the writer does keep a character consistently dead. And, you know, the frustrating part is, this scene does kind of work, because Escanor was a really likable character. And his whole death thing of saying, like, how he fell in love with Merlin, which technically makes him a lolicon, huh? Jokes aside, though, he said even if Merlin never cared for him, he still cared for her because she was the light in his heart, etc. And she makes a comment saying how she always will find him amusing, even in death. And she even has burns a scar into her skin from his burning body, saying that she'll always remember him.
How good this felt.
Yeah, exactly. But so seriously...
Anyways, Merlin has been a nothing character. Let's make them even worse.
Yeah, as much as I want to say the Escanor scene was decent, we wrap up Sin Season 5 or 4, whatever the fuck you want to call it, with potentially the worst 5 episodes. So firstly, Vivian survived. I forgot who that character was till she just showed up. It says because the power of love bullshit. Because, yeah. We then cut over to Merlin, who revives Arthur. For fuck's sake, show. But she revives him as the King of Chaos. Oh, the King of Chaos. They will not stop saying chaos. You think Strange Final Fantasy, whatever the hell it's called, says it a lot? You haven't seen these few episodes of Sins. So, during the fight, when Meliodas unleashed his final attack at the mountain, he angled it towards a magic lake that would absorb all the magic, and in doing so, made it so it could revive someone. Thus, Merlin used it to revive Arthur. And the Lady of the Lake is here as well, voiced by Michelle Ruff. Which, I mean, you could say is a reference to Fate, I guess. You know, with her being Arthur and all her saber.
Occasionally being Saber.
And now it's time for the most bullshit exposition dump out of nowhere. So it turns out, 3,000 years ago, Merlin was forced to study non-stop and hated her life, etc., with how strict it was. She met Meliodas, and because he helped her and decided to be her friend, she fell madly in love with him. Thus, she froze time within her own body and fabricated the fake woman for herself so she could potentially get with him. This is not a joke either. This is legit what they say. For some reason I thought her whole eternal youth thing was a curse placed on her, but maybe I'm remembering that wrong. I don't know.
You're not.
Anyway, so Merlin wanted to resurrect Chaos in the name of love. Because she saw Meliodas with Elizabeth and she was jealous, but she couldn't end up hating both of them. And that's how she planned everything for the course of 3,000 years, including nudging people to use the Coffin of Eternal Darkness to seal away the Demon King's power, to stop the war. And then...
Stop, you'll make Eisen blush.
I didn't even mention this earlier. So the way they knew the Demon King was back possessing Zeldris the first time is because Elizabeth's curse reactivated. Remember this when we get to the movie in a bit. It's going to be very important. They claim that her curse is the only one to come back because the Demon King wasn't dead yet. Alright? Sure, makes sense. Until you find out here, Merlin was the one who reactivated the curse on Elizabeth because she thought if the curse wasn't there, then the Sins, including Meliodas, would have no reason to fight the Demon King who was still alive. Merlin, are you a fucking idiot?
Yes.
That reasoning makes no sense.
Just that reasoning. That's the part that makes no sense.
Anyway, so it also comes out she purposefully delayed the 12-minute timer. It didn't take 12 minutes to freeze the cocoon. She could have done it at any point, but she planned on waiting on it just so the Demon King would come out of the cocoon, because she knew that would happen, I guess. Yes, that's why she struggled during the whole fight and nearly died several times. All for the sake of reviving Arthur as the King of Chaos.
But it's okay, guys. It gets worse.
Oh yeah, Hawk's mom, by the way, was the Vessel of Chaos as well. Because, of course it was. But now the power of Chaos is inside Arthur, so... Anyway, Arthur's back. So we get Zach Aguilar, the alligator.
He already was on Voices. We never lost him.
I want to go watch Demon Slayer, man!
You could always just play the game instead.
Anyway, the Druid's cat... Oh yeah, we didn't mention the Druids were all angels the whole time, which they said they were descended from the goddess tribe or angel tribe, but I don't think they ever had wings like that before.
They did not.
So, whatever.
Just another ass pull.
So yeah, the Druid cat shows up, and... Kath, I think their name was. And he wanted chaos the whole time! So, he tries eating Arthur. And here we go with stupidity. Merlin instantly freezes Kath in time. And it's like, oh, okay, so we're beating him like that? Sure. And we flash forward to Meliodas getting married, Elizabeth as an old woman dying, Kath resurrecting from being frozen in time, and Meliodas fighting him all alone, because everyone he knows and loves is dead, since he's eternally youthful. And then he wakes up and is like, oh, that was a vision. That wasn't real. Sure. So how they really defeat the cat is... Arthur just eats him. Yeah, Arthur literally goes, you're going to keep trying to eat me? Well, I'll eat you instead! I guess you could say he ate that pussy?
No, that's too good for even the show.
Your groans out there please me. Anyway. Final episode. So, Meliodas' son is born, because we're flashing forward 10 years, named Tristan. And he's voiced by Gina Tirado, who you all probably know as Android 21 from Dragon Ball FighterZ. As far as the other descendants, I don't know. They didn't talk enough. I don't care either.
No, we never even seen them.
I thought that's who his friends were. Tristan's friends were that he was hanging out with.
Those are just friends from the village, from the castle.
Anyway.
The town of Britannia.
You do get a scene where Tristan is, he hears his parents were part of the 7 deadly sins, or Meliodas was. He's like, that means they were villains the whole time, and he learns the truth about them from Gother actually not being a dick, and showing him the story of everything. Then he realized, oh, Gother, you were a real asshole, is what he should have said, but instead he says the 7 deadly sins were cool, and he wants to be like them when he grows up. Setting up for the sequel, the 4 Horsemen Knights of the Apocalypse, whatever the fuck it's called.
I'm not interested.
That's...
And we're done, is what I would say if we didn't have the fucking movie.
Before the movie, though, we should mention where all the sins are. So I think Merlin, isn't she still with Arthur? Oh, yeah, we didn't even mention. So Meliodas brings this up once. You reactivated the curse. That means you could have killed Elizabeth. And they're all like, yeah, she betrayed us, man. What the fuck? Why is Deanne on Merlin's side? I think Gother is too, isn't he? He's like, I'm not picking sides. I'm just saying she did save our lives a bunch of times too. So who cares if she used us a bit? Yeah, of course you'd say that. Gother. Fucking asshole. But yeah, it's like, how is this even a debate? The bitch lied to you guys this long, and even, like, so much of this drama was caused by her. Out of nowhere, too, by the way. There was no setup for this. Maybe if we had some of her inner monologue thinking, like, blah, 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 you know, just as a little foreshadowing. Just, you know, little nuggets of shit. But alright. Let's get to the movie.
Anyways, ignore that last episode.
So, the movie takes place between eps 23 and 24 of the season. And it premiered July 2nd in Japanese theater with director Takayuki Hamada. That name's kind of fun to say. Say Hamada die. Anyway, he directed several episodes of Dean's adaptation of Sorcerer, Stabber, Orphan. Oh boy. He also did some of the Prince of Tennis films. And apparently the movie would earn 1.1 million US dollars equivalent, which I don't think is very good. I don't know.
Is that, wouldn't that, what, did it like barely make it to Money Back?
I heard it opened up third at the box office that weekend, but I think it dropped off soon after. Keep in mind, by the way, this movie is only around an hour and 20 minutes. 6 minutes of that are credits. Another minute is a recap of the season up to this point. Yes, really. And then they waste yet another minute on the narration from Chris Kasem introducing each individual sin like it's a fucking Sailor Moon thing. Even Escanor, who doesn't even appear in this movie because he's dead. So fuck you, film. You teased me with getting Escanor back for even just a cameo sandwich.
It's okay. It gets worse.
Okay. Let's get to the movie. So the movie tries dealing with the themes of brotherly bonding, allegedly, since Zeldris and Meliodas were in a lot of the promotional material. It is handled very clumsily, as we're going to find out.
It works less than 1% of the time.
Zeldris wanted to go off on an adventure with Gelda, while Meliodas wants to go off on an adventure with Elizabeth before they all settle down and get married. Zeldris becoming the Demon King, Meliodas becoming the Human King. See, it all worked itself out in the end. Which means technically Meliodas didn't even have to leave 10 episodes back like he was claiming he would. He probably could have just given the power to Zeldris instead, someone who clearly wanted to become the Demon King. You know, before all the other shit happened.
Stop! You're trying to make sense. What are you, fucking idiot?
Anyway. Anyone showing up to this randomly on streams can be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Look at the title. But yeah, so Zeldris and Meliodas meet up on their adventure, and they start arguing right away. By arguing, I mean Meliodas tries being his friend, while Zeldris treats him like garbage for no reason. Even uttering the line, I don't even consider you my brother. You're not my bro. And Gelda properly brings up the point, if it wasn't for him, you'd still be possessed, and I'd be dead. Yeah, Zeldris, kind of makes you look like an asshole.
What a guy.
Anyway, we then cut to King and Deanne's wedding, where Dreyfus, Jameson Price, you need to be in better shit, my friend. Which, I mean, he was. He's a Megalobox, isn't he?
Yes.
But yeah.
No, that's just him being typecasted as a mobster.
Too bad he's not a boxer, am I right? Like Chad. That end credits thing was weird in Bleach. But yeah, so
gonna kill someone someday.
So, Deanne and King's wedding, he's the one marrying them, and he's like, you may now kiss the bride, or whatever. Deanne is like, what? We have to kiss? At a wedding?
In front of people?
That's typically how a wedding works, you fucking idiot. And he's like, well, that is the custom, but I guess you don't really have to.
Because it's a wedding in an anime.
This reminds me of stupid Super Goku. What is that thing you're doing with your mouth?
No, Goku's still worse.
Anyway, so, we then find out that there are, yeah, the two villains of the movie are fairies, right? I think. I know one of them is a fairy king. The other one, they said, is a craftsman who developed the Eternal Darkness coffin.
For the, they might have said craftsman for the giants. I don't know.
I guess, yeah, because he crafted a bunch of weapons. That makes sense. So giants and fairies attack their possessed, saying, "You ruined the war." So the Sins all have to fight them off because it's a wedding in fiction. So of course it got crashed. The leaders of these forces are Dubs, voiced by Damon Mills. You all probably know him as Midorima from Kuroko's Basketball. And Kaoru from the Amazon dub of Avon Jellyfish.
Or from being literally everywhere, because he doesn't go away.
Yeah, he's the one that's the craftsman we mentioned. The other one is the former Fairy King Dahlia, voiced by Matthew David Rudd. Or Panda from Jujutsu Kaisen, or Leaky Eye Luca from JoJo Golden Wind. Two shows I would much rather be watching.
No, who doesn't want to see a panda kick the shit out of someone?
But alright, so Zeldris and Meliodas set off for the Demon World to take on Dubs and Dahlia, while the rest of them take on the forces in the human world. And I don't know, because the movie is barely over an hour and 10 minutes of real content, none of this shit has time to breathe properly. In fact, you even find out Dahlia and Dubs are being possessed too, and it's kind of dumb. We'll get to that in a minute, though.
Not the CGI monster.
So Zeldris takes on Dubs, Meliodas takes on Dahlia, and I know they lose at first, but it's so inconsequential because they get brought back, like they get rescued or saved almost immediately after, like 5 minutes later, and take them on again in round 2.
Effortlessly defeating them?
Yeah, effortlessly defeating them this time, because of course. I mean, Zeldris does give a cool line, saying like, a master swordsman can wield a branch like it's a sword, just like an amateur can wield a great sword but still reduce it to scrap.
That doesn't belong in this show.
That line is cool, man. But yeah.
Yeah, leave it to Renji. Get the fuck out of here, Zeldris.
And yeah, Zeldris and Meliodas are slowly becoming friends again during this, even though the fact that there's tension between them still doesn't make any sense. There was one funny bit I liked, where every time they play rock, paper, scissors, Meliodas keeps winning. And Zeldris is like, damn it, why do I keep losing? Well, it's only because you keep picking rock. How did you know? So say you can't claim that we're just shitting on the show and nothing else. No, we'll point out the moments that somewhat worked.
Or the moments that come across as him acting soon instead of just being a cunt.
Yeah, like, that's typical brotherly bickering. But okay. During this movie, you also cut to the Celestial Plane with Mael, as he becomes the new head of the Archangels. Huh, an angel that had a face turn that ends up, well, Mael reminds me a lot of Castiel from Supernatural. Was that the point?
No.
That was the point, wasn't it?
No, you're just imaginationing it.
Sure. Anyway, he then realizes something's amiss and finds out what's really going on, so he sets off for the demon world. You know, or not, I mean human world. So you know the thing is we're in the Celestial Plane, where presumably in this world, good people who die end up, right? Wouldn't this be a good time to have an Escanor cameo? Maybe they could have had a scene where Escanor and Mael work together to figure out what's really going on here. You don't have to have Escanor get involved in the fighting anymore, but just have him do something.
Anyways, fuck that.
So he shows up, and it's like, I gotta tell you what's really going on. With little to no fanfare, the final villain shows up of the entire series, and it's the Supreme Deity, aka this universe's version of God. Because she wanted the war to go on forever to maintain balance. Keep in mind there's only 20 minutes left of the film at this point.
Get that CGI monstrosity out of here.
If you're gonna ask who's voicing her, we don't know. The cast list doesn't list her at all, and the filter is too strong for us even to make a guess. So
because there was no cast list at the end of the movie, only the
well, there was.
show.
It was just that. No, there was at the end of the movie. It's just for some reason the Supreme Deity was under the additional voices category. They weren't officially put under their own name, whereas Dubs and Dahlia were. And for some reason, Hendrickson was credited too when he wasn't even voiced in the movie. He just stood there.
He was just standing behind him like a cock. What?
Oh, if anyone's wondering how they managed to break the brainwash of the giants and fairies, Gother. And I guess King was able to also help by giving a speech about being the Fairy King now.
No, it was Gother and Bond because their weapons were also making them possessed. So he just stole them.
So, alright. Well, see, that's why you're here. You can clear things up when I fuck up. But I still fuck up way less than this show. Anyway.
Oh, you mean like how you kept calling a lawnmower a vacuum earlier today?
I don't know how I did that. I don't know why. I did that like 3 times. But yeah, so, during this fight, keep in mind, this being is supposed to be as powerful as the Demon King, hence why they fought to a balanced stalemate for years. Not the impression I got. I mean, hey, Bond's able to take her on by himself.
Again.
Half the sins aren't even present for this fight, because Merlin's not here. Escanor's not here. We'll cut to what Merlin's doing in a bit, trust us. But yeah.
Something chaos.
Yeah, isn't the goddess just defeated by Zeldris and Meliodas in the end, both attacking at the same time?
Yep.
Like, really? So
Yes.
the two of them were able to take down a being that's allegedly on par with the Demon King. By themselves. And keep in mind, this isn't like... Merlin wasn't there to release Power Limit Breaker. Meliodas wasn't Super Demon King form. He didn't do ping pong with himself for the full counter super move. Also, during this fight, there's a moment I would like to point out. It's as we said earlier, this was very important to bring up for the film. The Demon King, the reason Elizabeth's curse was allegedly revived, wasn't just because Merlin was able to reactivate it, but because the Demon King wasn't dead, right? Because he cursed Elizabeth, while the goddess cursed Meliodas, with eternal life for him, eternal reincarnation for her, whatever. Why did Elizabeth say, "You're not my mother, I don't care about you. After all, you're the one who cursed me"? Okay, Elizabeth, the goddess didn't curse you, she cursed Meliodas. If you wanted to say you cursed the man I love, that would have made more sense. But, yeah. What, did anyone else not catch that stupid shit?
Not the writers, that's for sure. It wasn't a dub thing because she was literally talking to her. So
yeah, it was an entire speech where she went on about that.
It was dumb.
Anyway, the deity is defeated. Zeldris and Meliodas become bestest bros now in a decently, I guess, written moment for the end of this, as they now realize that they could get along together. And Zeldris like, hey, come visit the demon world from time to time, alright? It's not like I want to see you or anything, just to, make sure everything's all good is all. I want to ask you what's going on in the human world. That's it.
Have him act more like that for the whole movie.
Yeah, that earlier scene just at the beginning made him seem like an asshole. But, which... I kind of wonder if that's the script and the dub, or just the writing itself.
It's
anyway.
Definitely the writing itself. Did you
if anyone's
the last 4 episodes?
If anyone's wondering what Hawk was doing during the whole film, I didn't even mention what he did. So at the end of the series, he wanted to go to Purgatory, back to where he belonged, to meet his older brother, because he was told about him. Which, apparently Wilde used to sing a song to Hawk when he was younger. And yes, it's dubbed. You get Bond and Meliodas singing it to Hawk, too. It is cringy and hilarious.
And Hawk just looks at them like they've lost their minds.
Yeah, because he doesn't remember, because he was too young to remember when that was going on. But yeah, he goes to Purgatory, which, by the way, I should mention, Wilde sacrificed himself on the Demon King so Bond and Meliodas could escape. Yet he's still alive when Hawks gets there. I think I just called him Hawks from My Hero. Got My Hero Academia on the brain. Anyway. But, yeah, so in this whole movie, they're basically in Purgatory. And at the very end, they show up, like in the human world, to get food, and that's it. That's the joke. You mean to tell me Hawk and his brother get a cameo, but Escanor gets shit? Fuck you, movie.
Yep.
So yeah. Elizabeth and Meliodas get married, everything's all happy. The post-credits scene is Merlin with Arthur saying, "The age of demons has ended. It is now time for the age of humans and chaos." Had to say it one more fucking time to close the show out. Okay. That was a long one. It's probably one of our longest vids, streams, discussions, podcast turkeys, whatever you want to call it.
We never have to talk about this shit again.
I hope you're right about that. So, our thoughts on the final season of Sins, Sins as a whole in the final movie. It's not great. This series started off with potential, but it quickly fell off the bandwagon real quick.
If you want to watch it at all, watch 1.5 seasons.
Yeah. Season 3...
after the Bond arc in Season 2.
Yeah, Bond's character just backpedals so badly. Like, Jericho, you at least get her in the final season, so Erica Lindbeck got work, I guess. Oh, there was lots of
ad voices.
Yeah, there was lots of recycled ad voices. Even Ben Diskin got a couple. And it's like, he's one of the mains. Why?
Even though I'm pretty sure it said, like, Demon A or something, so it's just demon noises. So they didn't.
No, he talked. No, he actually talked. Because I remember us even saying during the movie, it's like, wait, is that him? Because he was doing his crazy over-the-top voice.
Erica.
Oh, Erica Lindbeck. I thought you were talking about Ben Diskin.
It's like, I didn't.
Because he was doing his Uroshiki voice from Boruto. You know, when Uroshiki went full crazy or whatever for that demon.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steve Staley was also ad voices, which, to be honest, I wouldn't have minded him voicing a character here. He's cool. But it would have made him an asshole, not because of the ADR directing thing. But, yeah. And honestly,
and didn't you say the movie was in conjunction with Toei or something?
I believe so, which would explain the CG.
And if it was, man, that next Super movie is going to be really bad. Yeah,
and here's the other thing, too. The animation... Look, remember, they were working on Sin Season 4, the movie, and Dean Orphan Season 2, all at the same time. That would be a tall order for any AAA, like, animation studio. Like, even Bones. People bitch all the time about how My Hero's animation during the season could be better if they weren't focused on the stupid movie. Now imagine Dean.
No.
Like, seriously, what the fuck? What are they thinking with that?
No thinking was involved. Just like there wasn't much involved with what Sins turned into.
But alright. The end of this 2-hour rant, which I'm pretty sure it's around 2 hours, I don't know, I'm just guessing, where our mic's probably messed up or something. You got bothered in the background earlier.
Twice.
Yeah, you got bothered earlier. Like, everything has gone wrong during this, but I hope you all at least had some fun here and listened to us bitch about a shonen that we honestly didn't want to hate. I think, honestly, the writer had good ideas.
It could have cleaned itself up after Season 2. It really could have. Season 2 had potential in it.
Yeah, but the writer, you can tell he suffered badly from writing as you go along syndrome, and look,
except instead of the thing that was plagiarized, he did not fact check himself.
Yeah, Mashima went on record saying for a lot of Fairy Tail he wrote as he went along, but it's clear that he did check his sources to make sure there weren't any major inconsistencies. This dude clearly needed to do that. Which, pro tip 101, by the way, don't do writing as you go along. At least have some outline planned out of what you're going to do.
And do not retcon this much, or you're going to turn into Super.
I think even Super is blushing at how many retcons were here near the end, man. And, yeah. The other thing, too, is, as we mentioned with the animation, you could, if, like, I've seen some people like, oh, you know, turn your brain off and watch it. You can't even do that, though, with the animation being so choppy, so you don't even get, you know, fun fights to look at.
Yeah.
Season 2 was rushed in places, but at least you got that. Overall, after 100 episodes and 2 films, Sins is finally put to bed. And I can't say I'm sad to see it go.
Maybe if it has some quality left after season 1.5.
If for those who want another anime that's focused on fantasy shonens, I'd say Fairy Tail, Radiant, or Black Clover. You could nitpick a hell of a lot of issues with those 3, but they're still, in my opinion, way better written than this is.
They don't betray themselves in their writing.
That's the other thing with the show, too. If it didn't take itself so seriously, which I thought was the intent. As Season 1 began, it felt like it was trying to be over-the-top silly. Remember Sir Twiggle? And the Patrick Seitz dude, I forget his name. I can't remember it. Where he's like, my power is wall.
I just shoot his name in the fucking credits too, and
I know. Is it Grahamore? I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like in the beginning, it seemed like it was trying to basically make fun of how silly shonens were before becoming the very thing it was parodying, and yeah. It's like the guy got bored of writing a silly series. Like, I want to make something serious because Fairy Tail's doing it, Radiant and Clover are doing it.
It was just like making a silly power fantasy with how absurd the mains were.
Oh my god, the power level stuff. We didn't even bring that up.
Oh, you mean the power level thing? This thing introduced in Season 2.
That they never dropped. Even in this season, Hawk is like, his power level's over 200,000! Like, stop! Please.
You guys did realize the Dragon Ball dropped power levels shortly after they were introduced, right?
Yeah, for a reason too.
It's like, oh, the power's so strong, the Scouter broke. That's when they realized, yeah, we're done with naming off power levels.
Well, it was basically meant to also use as an exercise in showing, you know, I guess that points to Antag's hubris with that shit. It was used as a stepping stone and stuff like that.
It's used as a... That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, the power scaling is fucked beyond belief if we haven't driven that point home enough. But I don't think we've rambled on long enough. You guys get the idea here. But hey, if you want another show starring Bryce Papenbrook having brotherly issues and having to fight along with his demon heritage on the inside, watch Blue Exorcist. It's also done by A1, though I don't think it's nearly as A1'd as this is, despite the fact that it's a filler ending.
Until you get to the sequel season.
The sequel season's still good. The problem is A1 fucked themselves by giving it a filler ending in season 1, and then like, oh shit, what do we do now?
We have to retcon and acknowledge some of the stuff. Well, fuck me.
But yeah, Black Exorcist was alright too. We'll probably cover that at some point, because that show was fun. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this long-winded rant on Seven Deadly Sins, and please, don't let Four Nights of the Apocalypse get an anime. Please don't. Also, should mention, if you like manga, Seven Deadly Sins, you do you, but no. I'm just gonna stick to Fairy Tail and Black Clover instead. Anyway, if you want to watch Sins, it's all up on NetDolphFlix over there. That's like Netflix and Dolphin at the same time, Die.
Really?
Hey, let us know what you thought. If you agree with us, disagree with us, why you hate us, and for shitting on Sins, and so on. And we'll be back next time with something else.
Will the characters stay dead this time?
Good question. I don't know. But, I mean, it is October, so maybe not. It could have ghosts, zombies. Who knows what the fuck we got.
Even they'll be deader than anyone in this show.
Except Escanor. Still, probably the best written scene we've saw throughout all of this. Though, is that because of how much we liked Escanor? Or just because... well, never mind.
Well, even in a pile of shit, you can find gold. Wait a minute, that does sound stupid. Never mind.
Anyway,
even
we'll get out of here. This went on
twice a day.
This went on way too long. The MVP of this side of dub is either Bryce or David Vincent. Max Middleman did really good too, since he had to do 3 different voices throughout this season.
Oh yes, David Vincent having to yell brother, a classic.
I miss BlazBlue. I want the new BlazBlue game already, damn it! Come on, Arc System, announce a new BlazBlue installment already. Or at least an update to BB Tag.
Fan fiction.
I know, that's what you dub Central Fiction. Yeah, we'll do that. So anyways, we're rambling on long enough. We're getting out of here. Hope you all have yourselves a great day, and let us know what you thought and all that. Till next time, guys. Bye! Have a good day.